In the dim glow of a single flickering bulb, Maria's small apartment felt like a fragile sanctuary against the world's harsh edges. The walls were thin, echoing with the distant hum of city traffic, and the air carried the faint scent of canned soup simmering on the stove. Maria, her hands calloused from years of scrubbing floors and washing dishes, stirred the pot with a weary sigh. Her 12-year-old son, Alex, sat at the rickety kitchen table, his small frame hunched over a school notebook, scribbling homework with a pencil stub. "Mom, when's dinner?" he asked, his voice soft but laced with the innocent hunger that twisted her heart. She forced a smile, plating the meager meal, pasta with a thin sauce, no meat tonight. Bills lay scattered like fallen leaves on the table, rent overdue, electricity threatening cutoff. Maria's eyes stung with unshed tears as she watched Alex eat eagerly, oblivious to her silent worries. How could she tell him they might lose this home? "We'll be okay, mijo," she whispered, pulling him into a hug that hid her trembling. In that moment, her love for him was a fierce flame, burning away the despair, even as poverty clawed at their door. The night shift called her away, as it always did. Maria bundled up against the biting wind, Alex trailing behind like a shadow, his backpack slung over one shoulder. "Why can't I stay home alone?" he grumbled, but she shook her head firmly. "Not safe, Alex. Not in this neighborhood." They boarded the bus to Technova's towering headquarters, a gleaming monolith of glass and steel that mocked their humble existence. Inside, Maria donned her uniform, a faded blue jumpsuit, and began her routine, dusting desks, emptying bins, mopping endless corridors. Alex curled up in a corner of the lobby with his phone, its cracked screen glowing faintly as he played a free game to pass the hours. Upstairs, in the opulent penthouse office, Victor Harlan paced like a caged lion. As CEO of Technova, he had built an empire from code and ambition, but tonight, shadows loomed. Shady investors, men with cold eyes and veiled threats, demanded he hand over proprietary secrets. Victor's heart pounded. Refusing meant danger, but betrayal meant losing everything he'd fought for. His mind flashed to a childhood he barely remembered, abandoned, adopted, driven by a void he could never fill. As Maria pushed her cart down the executive hallway, voices drifted from the cracked boardroom door. She paused, mop in hand, her breath catching. Victor's tone was strained, pleading, "I won't do it. This company is my life." The response was a low growl, "Then your life ends tonight." Accidents happen in elevators, Harlan. Maria's blood ran cold. These men weren't joking, their words dripped with malice. She backed away quietly, heart racing, but the image of Victor, tall, polished, yet somehow vulnerable, stuck with her. He was a stranger, yet in his voice, she heard echoes of her own struggles. Back in the lobby, she found Alex dozing. Shaking him gently, she whispered the story, her voice trembling. "Mom, that's scary," he said, wide-eyed. Tears welled in her eyes as she held him close. "We have to do something. But what can people like us do?" Alex's young face hardened with determination. "We warn him. Anonymously. Please, Mom." Her chest ached with fear and pride. In his eyes, she saw the boy who dreamed big despite their hardships. That night, in their cramped kitchen, they crafted the note. Maria's hands shook as she wrote on a torn scrap of paper, "Danger in the elevator. They're coming for you." Alex added a drawing, a simple stick figure escaping harm, to make it real. "This could save him," he said, his voice cracking with emotion. Maria nodded, tears blurring her vision. Giving up her baby decades ago had haunted her, a secret wound that never healed. Now, helping this man felt like redemption, a way to protect someone else's future. They sealed it with tape from her cleaning supplies, her heart swelling with a mix of terror and hope. As they lay in bed, Alex snuggled against her, whispering, "You're the bravest mom ever." She kissed his forehead, silent sobs shaking her frame. If only he knew how scared she truly was. The next evening, tension hung thick in the air at Technova. Maria slipped the note under Victor's office door during her rounds, her pulse thundering. But fate twisted cruelly. The investors had moved faster, sabotaging the private elevator with precision, cut cables, overridden safeties. Victor, exhausted from another grueling day, stepped inside, briefcase in hand. As the doors closed, a faint groan echoed through the shaft. Down in the lobby, Maria and Alex arrived just in time to see shadowy figures slipping out the side exit. "Those men from the argument," Maria gasped, her voice breaking. Alex's eyes widened in horror. "Mom, the elevator, it's him." A mechanical screech pierced the air, and Maria's world narrowed to pure instinct. Her son's face, pale with fear, fueled her resolve. "Stay here," she ordered, but Alex grabbed her hand. "No, together." They raced to the elevator bank, hearts pounding in unison. The digital display flickered erratically, the car plummeting slowly at first. Inside, Victor clutched the rails, sweat beading on his forehead, memories flashing, a mother's face he couldn't recall, the loneliness that drove his success. "Help!" he shouted, voice hoarse with panic. Maria pried open the lobby panel with a crowbar from her cart, wires spilling out like veins. "Alex, remember that video you watched? The one about fixing things?" Tears streamed down her face as he nodded, small hands diving in. "I can try." The building shook faintly as the elevator strained. Maria's mind screamed, "Why us?" But love propelled her, for Alex, for this stranger who might not survive without them. With a surge of adrenaline, Maria climbed onto the cart, reaching the emergency hatch above. "Hold on," she yelled into the void. Alex's fingers flew over the wires, rerouting power based on hazy recollections, his breath coming in sobs. "Mom, it's working, I think." The elevator jerked, cables whining. Victor's face appeared at the hatch, etched with desperation. "Who are you?" he gasped. Maria extended her arm, muscles burning from years of labor. "Just hold my hand." Their fingers locked, and with a guttural cry, she pulled him up, inch by agonizing inch. Alex cheered through tears as the power stabilized momentarily. But the final cable snapped, sending the car crashing below in a thunderous echo. Victor collapsed beside them, gasping, as security finally burst in. In the aftermath, under the harsh fluorescent lights, Victor stared at his rescuers. You saved me," he whispered, voice cracking with gratitude. Maria knelt, exhausted, holding Alex tight. "We couldn't let it happen." Tears flowed freely now, hers from relief, Alex's from the terror they'd faced. Victor's eyes lingered on Maria's face, a flicker of recognition stirring deep within. He fumbled for his wallet, pulling out a worn photo, a young woman, smiling sadly, holding a newborn. This is my birth mother. I was adopted. She looks just like." His voice broke, eyes welling. Maria froze, the world tilting. Memories crashed over her, the teenage pregnancy, the heartbreaking choice to give him up for a better life, the endless nights of regret. "Victor," she breathed, hand trembling as she touched his face. "My baby, my son." The revelation shattered them both. Victor enveloped her in a hug, sobs racking his broad shoulders. "Mom, all these years, I searched, but never found." Maria clung to him, tears soaking his shirt, the pain of separation melting into joy. "I never stopped loving you. I thought you'd have a better life without me." Alex watched, eyes wide, then joined the embrace, his small arms wrapping around them. "We're a family now?" he asked, voice quivering. Victor nodded, pulling back to look at them both. "Yes, and I'll make sure you never struggle again." In that lobby, amid the debris, a poor mother's heart mended, her lost son returned, and a boy's world expanded with love unforeseen. As days turned to weeks, the bond deepened. Victor moved them into a spacious home, but it was the emotional healing that mattered most. Maria shared stories of her hardships, tears flowing as Victor listened, his own regrets surfacing. "I built this empire to fill the emptiness," he confessed one evening, voice thick. Alex, thriving in a new school, beamed at family dinners, his laughter a balm. Yet shadows lingered. Maria often woke from nightmares of the elevator, holding Alex close. Victor hired therapists, ensuring they healed together. Publicly, he credited his guardian angels, but privately, the reunion was sacred. Maria found purpose volunteering at shelters, her empathy born of pain. Victor softened, prioritizing family over boardrooms. On quiet nights, they'd sit together, sharing tears and tales, the unexpected mom weaving their lives into wholeness. Poverty's scars faded, replaced by love's enduring light, proving that even in danger's shadow, miracles bloom from the heart. Word count, 1,248. Note: aiming for emotional depth while keeping under 2,000 words is an expanded narrative. If more expansion needed, let me know.